Humble beginnings. I was just your typical Apex Legends boy, trying to be like his papa and mama, Timmy and Asu, uploading the daily Apex content. That was my calling back then. Oh, I can remember those days like they were practically yesterday. Oh, but this isn't about me. This isn't quite a video reminiscing about the times of valor that I had fighting alongside many of our previous Apex vets. This video is directed towards the community. This is my best grossing Apex Legends video. And you know why it's the best? Because you people got to learn something from me. So let me teach you something again. Today we're doing gender studies, so just watch this clip. Anyone in their right mind who watched that clip was like, they had a couple of thoughts go through their head. A, all girls team. This reminds me of that all girls CSGO team. They're probably not gonna win. B, isn't this kind of like the exact same thing that girls will complain about when it happens to them? C, oh, what a funny vid. This is obviously them just joking around and just in friendly game banter. Oh, I appreciate some quality video game banter like this. Now, the average person will think any of those thoughts, but too bad that being an average person, being of your right mind, is not the trend these days. I'm sure that there are people out there trying to stick up for the guy in this video talking about like what I said as a joke, like this is what they do to females, like, oh, gamer girl, oh, hey, gamer girl, it's a gamer girl. They do that and females hate it. So it's just funny how you could like do a vice versa and say, oh, look, females are hypocrites, blah blah blah. They're attacking him for his gender. There's people out there that genuinely believe that. With all of that being said, let's talk about the topic at hand, gender studies. Today we're going to be talking about Apex Legends and why it doesn't matter what gender your teammates are. Okay, so there's a stereotype in video games that most female gamers are complete dog shit. While this may hold true, there's definitely outliers, like our big PP friend Lulu. I think that she's generally respected in the Apex community. You got Girl, you got Ninjala. Those gals, they get a lot of respect. But what about when you run into a random female on your team? Now, most of the time when I run into a random female, I am not going to lie. She is dog shit most of the time. Now, I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear, but hear me out. Now, let's talk about the male side of things. Now, whenever you play with random men, would it be strange if I were to say that most of them are dog shit too? Is that safe to say? Yes. As a matter of fact, there is actually scientific evidence, aka statistics, that I can use to prove this. If you look at the average KD of any Apex Legends player, of all the Apex Legends players, it actually is rounded to a little bit under a 1, or at least as of a year ago. It was like the bell curve, and in the middle it was 1. That's where the average is. Now, we all know that a 1 KD, literally averaging 1 kill a game, is like the bare minimum. It's like, okay. Thus, using KDs as a way of determining someone's skill is kind of flawed in a way, because there's other stats you could look at, and I understand that, but just going off of that literally says that 50% of Apex players, their KDs are less than a 1. Thus, to state that most random females and most random males are dog shit at the game isn't too far-fetched. Now, how does that correlate to gender studies? Who is better, males or females? Now, the answer to that should be simple. But what if I told you it's not so clear-cut? My first way of thinking about this was, okay, there's more pro males than there are pro females. Obviously, this means that males are better than females. Now, that doesn't really make sense when you actually think about it, because there's more male players than female players. So you can't really use this and say logic. Now, the truth is that because there's less females, I think that they're low-key better. Not because there's less females, but simply because I run into less female players. And when I do, maybe I'm just giving her a pass, but it honestly feels like they make smarter decisions. Maybe not frag out, maybe not drop like high kill games or carry me, but they at least make decisions that you would expect a viable player to make. For example, yesterday I was playing ranked with a male and a female. One of them was named Kristen, and then one of them was Chaos Warlord. Now, that whole time, Chaos Warlord was doing more damage, but his decisions, they were just so stupid. It's almost like he had no clue what the mini-map was, or he was playing very stupid, while Kristen clutched up the game, and she was playing Rampart. Wait, no, it was the other way around. But still, she was playing Ashe, and she did better than the Rampart in terms of decision making. Now, I will not lie, and I will say there was a point where our Rampart was down, and no one could do anything except for if it was Kristen, and she could have poured it out. She could have used her Ashe portal to get. Oh, this was ranked. I'm diamond. So it was a ranked match, and I ran into two relatively unintelligent beings. And you know what's funny? As soon as she picked the Rampart up, she literally decides, okay, now I can use the port to get away. And that's when I realized, okay, Kirsten, you're not as smart as I think. Now, how does this relate to gender studies? It's just an individual event. Now, with that being said, we can tie it all back into the grander scheme. Less females, thus there's more good players, and since there's way more males, you're going to tend to run into a lot more dogshit players. I think that the logic makes sense. Also, I don't want to sound like a simp, so I'm going to go ahead and say that, once again, the majority of females are still dog shit. It's just, there's more good players that are female than good players that are male, because there's so many more male players. I hope that sounds right. I hope that is sensical, not nonsensical, but I hope it is very epic and based. Please tell me how you feel. or if you agree. If I'm not going to use statistics and numbers, just based off of being a non-simp, um, I really tend to not enjoy playing with randoms in general because, like I said, most of the time, male or female, it doesn't matter. The gender doesn't matter. They're just dog shit at Apex. I mean, I really don't. I can't understand how some people are so bad. You know, they say when you're one of the smart people that it feels like everyone around you is dumb. And I guess when you're one of the good players, it seems like everyone around you is bad. Now, I know we tend to over-exaggerate and blow things out of proportion for effect or affect, but here, let me just put something on the screen. Do not get this confused. Though I am better than the typical pro, say Timmy, NRG Asu, I'm not claiming that I am the high authority on Apex. I'm speaking on something that we can all relate to, and we can all say that we have taken part in. I have like 15k games, so it's not like what I'm saying is completely irrelevant. Now, I'm trying to get you to understand that gender is not such a role in video games, and if it were, at least in Apex Legends, the roles are reversed, and you would be better off recruiting a female. Now, also, personality-wise, this is applicable because most male players are bullheaded and strong-willed, and they won't listen. But a female that is playing Apex most of the time will acknowledge that it's team-based and she's not the best on the team. Thus, she will follow you around and be loyal. And that is a far better teammate. I mean, whenever I'm playing with people who are just as good as me, if not better, then I understand that they are better or just as good as me, and thus I follow suit. I follow them. I do what I have to do to be a team player. But whenever I'm playing with two people who are worse than me, what I need from them most is not for them to go off and do their own thing because they can't keep up. What I need them to do is just follow me around. Because literally, the worst feeling in the world is knocking two, the last guy is actually one shot, and your teammates are just too far away. And that is why a female player is better than a male player on average when it comes to Apex Legends.